to join. There's not a problem. Just we'll continue the session. Yesterday, just we are talking about something like the types of languages. Like coming to number one, just we are talking about a high level language. Number two, just we are talking about assembly language. And coming to number three, just we are having what a low level language. So what is the purpose of each language? Already we discussed that high level language is used by whom? By the developers. HTML is also what a high level language. Why? Because it is used by whom? By the developers. Sometimes they are also called what? Programmers. When coming to assembly language, it is used by the CPU. Sometimes CPU is also referred as what? The processor, like Intel processor, Core 2 dual processor, etc. We have so many types of process available in the market, as you are familiar. Low level language is used by whom? It is used by the operating system, like Windows operating system, Unix operating system, etc. Okay. And then just we are talking about what? Then we are talking about something like okay, C language. Yes or no? Just we are talking about what? We are talking about something about what? C language. Okay. So just when we talk about a specific language, for example, I am talking about C language. Okay. Just it is following what? It is following a particular style. Sometimes this is also referred as what? Sometimes this is also referred as the programming style. Example, yesterday just we are considering two buildings. Building one, similar way, just we are considering what? Building two. Okay. When coming to building one, we are having what? Just we are having something like one type of architecture. What is that? We are having what? Simple. We are having one type of architecture. When coming to building two, just we are having what? We are having something like the another type of okay architecture. Okay. It means what? It means that like the style is different. Style means the construction style is different. Okay. Similar way, when we are talking about a language is having got its own style. It is referred as a programming style. Sometimes it is also called as what? Sometimes it is also called as uh, okay, the paradigm. What is it called as? It is also called as what? It is also called as something like the paradigm. Okay. So in the case of C language, it is following what type of paradigm? It is following something like procedure oriented paradigm. What's that? It is following something like the procedure oriented paradigm. Okay. It is also called the procedure oriented programming in other terms. Okay. So suppose when we talk about C++ or when we talk about Java, it is following what? It is following something like the object oriented paradigm. So in our sessions, we are talking about which language? We are talking about Java language. Just we should know that it is following what style, otherwise what programming style. It is following something like the object oriented paradigm. Okay. So for a few minutes, let us talk about what? C language. Because Java is getting some of the features from what? Java is getting some of the features of something like C language. Clear? So is C Is C an assembly language? No, C is not an assembly language. As already we are discussing, C is coming under what? C is coming under a high level language. In other terms, it is also called as the high level programming language. Okay. So for a few minutes, we'll talk about the C language. C is what? A high level programming language which is given by a company, something like the Bell Laboratories. Okay. And who is the inventor? The inventor is something like Dennis Ritchie. What is that? Dennis Ritchie. Okay. So what is this procedure oriented? We discussed that C is following what type of paradigm? Procedure oriented paradigm. So what do you mean by procedure? And what is this procedure oriented paradigm? Okay. So if you want to build any C program, suppose we want to build, what is that? We want to build a program where in C language. It is also referred as what? It is also referred as a C program. So what we are doing is we are always using what? Simple. We are always using something like what? Procedures. For example, we want to construct a wall. What is that? We want to construct a wall. We are using what? Anyone? Simple. We are using something like what? We are using bricks. What's that? We are using bricks. I hope you are familiar. If you want to construct a wall, just we are using what? Bricks. Similar way, if you want to construct a C program, we are using what? Procedures. Clear? But let us see actually what is a procedure. Okay. So let us see just what is a procedure. For example, we can use a procedure to perform what? We can use a procedure to perform an operation. What is that? We in C language, we can use a procedure for what? To perform what? An operation. Okay, for example, yesterday, just we are taking what? Two numbers, number one and number two, right? What operation we are performing? Simple. Just we want to perform what? Something like what? Addition. So in C language, to perform this operation, just we can use what? We can use something like what? A procedure. Okay. Let us get into a simple program where in C language. It looks something like hash include stdio.h. In similar way, just we are having void main and followed by what? Followed by printf, and it is something like what? Hello world. Okay. This is the basic program where in C language. What's that? This is something like what? Simple. This is something like a basic program where this is something like a basic program in C language. Just I'm saving this notes. Okay. So here just we can find what? Some set of lines. This is something like what? Line number one. Okay. This is something like what? Line number two. And this one is something like what? Line number three. Here just we can observe three
View.
lines. This is line number
Unmute.
one. This one.
Start video.
This one is
2.
what? This one is something like
Participants.
line number two.
Share screen.
And how about this one? Simple.
Chat.
This one is something like what?
Reactions.
Line number three. Clear?
Settings.
So shortly
More.
we'll talk about line number one.
Leave.
So for beginners,
Moses.
just we'll get into what? Line number two.
Moses.
When coming to line number two,
VJJ.
just we are finding what? Void main.
VJJ.
So here just what is void main? Here void main is called as what? Here void main is a procedure. What is that? Void main is what? Simple. Here void main is something like what? A procedure. Similar way, just when we talk about printf, even printf is what? Even printf is a procedure. What's that? Even printf is what? Even printf is something like what? A procedure. So let us see just why we are using these procedures. Okay. What is a printf? I told that printf is what? A procedure. So let us get into a theater. For example, we are getting into what? A movie theater, whereby my requirement is I want to display the movie for whom? I want to display the movie to the audience. Just what we are doing simple. We have to display what? We have to display the movie. For whom? Simple. We have to display the movie to the audience. Okay. Just what we are doing is simple. Just we are using what? We are using the screen. What is that? We are using what? We are using the screen. Yes or no? Every movie theater contains what? A screen. Suppose if we are not having a screen, can we see the movie? No. The theater people are telling what we are having a real box, but we don't have what? A screen. No, we cannot watch the movie. So important thing is what? Important thing is a real box. We are having a real box. Okay, that is well and good. But important thing is we have to display that real box. But what is the requirement? The requirement is we are using what? We are using the screen. Yes or no? Okay. Similar way, just whenever we are having a program, we have to display what? We have to display some information. Are you getting it? We have to display what? We have to display some information, or we have to display some output. So if we want to display this output, we are using a procedure. That procedure is called as what? Printf. Clear? So in a C program, if we want to display any output, or if we want to display any information, okay, this we are using what? Printf. Okay, clear? Then how about void main? So, okay, for example, just I am taking what? ATM. Okay, so whenever we are just using an ATM, just we are okay, like we are seeing what? We are seeing a computer. But what is this computer using? Here, sorry, here the computer is using what? A program. That is something like what? It is referred as something like an ATM program. Clear? Okay, whereby just in this program, using this program, just we know that we can perform what? Simple, we can perform something like what? Transactions. So just to make it simple, just I am taking what? Something like a balance inquiry. What is that? A balance inquiry. Okay, so whenever a customer wants to go for a balance inquiry, what we had to display? We had to display something like what? We had to display his something like what? The current balance. Yes or no? We had to display what? We had to display his current balance. So important thing is I am talking about what? The concept of what? Display. Okay. So what is the customer doing? We know that the customer is giving what? The customer is giving what? Some inputs. What inputs? We know that the customer is giving some inputs. When coming to input number one, simple, he is like giving what? He is specifying the type of account. What's that? He is specifying what? Simple. He is specifying the type of account. When coming to input number two, simple, he is like entering what? He is entering the PIN number. What is that? He is entering what? He is entering some PIN number. So based on these inputs, what ATM is doing? ATM is performing what? An operation. Operation means transaction. Okay. So based on the transaction, it is a displaying what? What is ATM doing? Simple. ATM is a displaying what? ATM is displaying what? The balance. The balance of what? The balance of the customer. Able to follow? So based on these inputs, what we are expecting? We are expecting the balance of what? The customer. Clear? This is referred as what? This is referred as something like what? The output. Clear? So whenever just we are talking about any program, for example, in ATM, I told that we are using what? An ATM program. So in a program, just what we can find simple, we can find some inputs. Similar way, just we can find what? We can find an output. But important thing is we should know how to display this output. Clear? For example, in ATM, just in ATM also just we are finding what? A screen. Okay, yes or no? So we are defining what is screen. So on the screen, what we are doing, we are displaying what? The output. Okay. Similar way, just whenever we are talking about your C program, what is that screen called as? Here the screen is called as what? Here the screen is called as the console. Otherwise, it is also called as what? The command prompt. What is that? It is also called as what? The command prompt. So, are you familiar with command prompt? Very simple. On your machine, just you can give CMD. What's that? CMD. Whenever just you're opening CMD, it is opening what? It is opening something like what? It is opening something like command prompt. This is called as what? A command prompt. Able to follow? This is what? A command prompt. So whenever we are running a C program, we can see this output where on your command prompt. Clear? I hope that's clear. We are having the same concept where even in Java. Okay. So in Java, I want to print the output. We are displaying this output where on the console. Sometimes it is also referred as what? It is also referred as a command prompt. So here, just we are having a link between, what I'm telling is, we are having a link between our program. Similar way, just we are having a link between what? Our command prompt. For example, you may be building a program in C language. Okay, that is well and good. You are building what? Simple. You are building a program where in C language. Just give me some time. Okay, just what you are doing is simple. You are building a C program. C program means you are using which language? Simple. You are using something like C language. Okay. But at some point, like what we have to do is we have to run the program. Okay. So after running the program, we are expecting what? Some output, right? We are expecting what? Some output. So where is this output getting displayed? Here the output is getting displayed on the screen. Sometimes it is also referred as what? Sometimes it is also referred as a console. In today's session or tomorrow session, just we'll talk about what a C program, how to run it, etc. for 1 or 2 days. Because basics of a C program is required for what? Java. Clear? Okay. So just we are taking what a C program. Just let's get into the same thing. Just I'll give you one more link, okay, for the next session. So just already I told that we are having like hash include stdio.h. Clear? Just already I told that just we are having void main, and just we are having what? Printf. But what we want to print? Simple. We are printing a message like hello world. Clear? So just what I told is here we are having what? Two procedures. The first one is what? Main. Main is what? A procedure. Similar way, I told about what? Printf. Printf is also what? A procedure. So first we will talk about printf. Printf is what? A procedure. But what is the purpose? Using printf, just what we can do is we can print what? We can print some output. For example, here just you can observe what we are using what? Printf for what? It is for printing some output. Are you getting it? Okay. So let us say what is the purpose of printf. Printf is for what? Again, I'm telling you, using a printf, just what we are doing is we are printing what? We are printing some output. So what is the requirement of output? For example, just suppose if you want to make any payment, we are using PhonePe or we are using what? Google Pay. Yes or no? So what we have to do? Simple. We had to make what? We had to make the payment. Payment means something like, suppose you are going to a tea shop, you are having what? A cup of tea. But suppose if you don't have hard cash, you can use what? PhonePe or Google Pay. Yes or no? So after making the payment, we are getting what? We are getting some acknowledgement. Payment is successful. Yes or no? Okay. That is called as what? That is called as the output. So you are showing what? You are showing the shopkeeper that the transaction is what? Successful. Otherwise, the payment is what? Successful. Is that clear? So whenever we are using a program, for example, when we talk about phone pay or whenever we are talking about Google Pay, it is also what a program, but majorly just it is for what, it is for making the payments, etc. Okay, so after we are making the payment, just what we are getting, the program is giving some, okay, output. Output means it is showing what, it is showing that the payment is what, the payment is successful. Clear? So okay, output is what, very important in terms of what, programming. Suppose if you are not getting the status, otherwise the payment is successful or payment is failure. So we may not know the money has been what, transferred. Is that clear? So whenever we are talking about a program, output is what, very crucial. Otherwise, the output is what, mandatory. You have any questions? Okay. Similar way, just whenever we are talking about a C program, just even in C program, output is what, very crucial or very important. Here just we are using what, printf. So what is a printf? Again, I'm telling you, printf is what, a procedure. Okay. Then what is this void main? Void main is also what? Void main is also what, a procedure. But what is the purpose? Using void main, just what we can do is simple. Using void main, we are able to run what? We are able to run the program. What is void main? Again, I'm telling you, void main is what? Void main is also a procedure. For what? Simple. Using void main, just what we can do is simple. We can run the program. Sometimes it is also referred as, it is also referred as, we can execute the program. Are you getting it? So what is the purpose? Why we have to run the program? Suppose you are purchasing a bike and we want to use it. Definitely what we have to, definitely we have to run the bike. Yes or no? Suppose if you are not running the bike, does it mean that you are using the bike? No. You are purchasing a bike of 10 lakhs or 3 lakhs. You are locking the bike and you are putting that bike where, inside your house. Does it make any sense? No. You are telling what, you are telling that you purchase a bike of 1 lakh or 3 lakhs, something, anything. But if you want to use the bike, what we have to, we have to run it. Similar way, if you want to use any program, definitely what we have to, we have to run it. Clear? Suppose I am telling that I am using PhonePe or I am using Google Pay. But behind the scenes, what is happening? We are running that program. Clear? Similar way, when we talk about WhatsApp, we know that WhatsApp is what? Even WhatsApp is what, a program. And if you want to just send a message, behind the scenes, what is happening? We are running what? We are running which application? The WhatsApp application. Clear? So if you want to use any program, definitely what we have to do, we have to run it. Run means we have to execute the program. So in C language, if you want to run what, our programs, we are using what? We are using one more procedure. It is called what? It is called void main. What's it called as? It is called as something like what? It is called as something like okay, void main. Clear? Okay. So let's get back to the notepad. When coming to the notepad, just we can see what a C program. I hope the screen is updated to notepad. Just we'll use the other link. Okay, clear? Like I'll share that link shortly. Here just we can observe that we are having two procedures. First one is what? Printf. Purpose? Using printf, as already I told you, we are printing what? We are printing some output. How about void main? Like printf, main is also a procedure, but it is for what? It is for running what? Your application. Clear? Okay, yeah. So I hope in the upcoming link, just we'll talk about what, like the phase of a program. Just now what I told is, just now I told that like we had to run the program. Yes or no? Similar way, but if we want to run the program, definitely what we require is, first the program should be what? Designed. What's that? The program should be what? Designed. So we are having what? We are having some phases for what? We are having some phases for a program. Phases means some steps for what a program. When coming to the first one, it is called a design phase. What phase? Design phase, the first one. When coming to number two, just we are having something like what? A compilation phase. For example, we are working on HTML. First, what we are doing, we are designing what? We are designing the web page. Yes or no? We are designing what? We are designing the web page. Okay. And how about number two? Number two is you are running that web page where in the browser. Yes or no? Suppose I am using HTML. You are designing what? We know that we are designing a web page. But at some point, what we have to do? We have to run that web page. Otherwise, we have to execute that web page. We are using what? We are using something like what? Browser. I hope that's clear. Okay. But when coming to C program, apart from design, apart from execution, we are finding one more phase that is called as what? That is called as something like a compilation phase. Okay, let's talk about the design phase. Design phase means simple. We are designing our programs. What is that? Design phase means simple. We are designing what? Our programs. For example, here just we can observe what? Here we can observe that we are designing what? A program, something like this. Clear? Okay, this one is what? This one is like just the meeting is ending in 1 minute mostly. We'll use the other link shortly. So here just what we can observe that we are designing the program. Okay. So important thing is if you want to design any program, just what we can do simple, we can use editor. We can use what? We can use editor. In C language, it is called as something like the Turbo C editor. What is that? It is called as what? The Turbo C editor. To work with C language, we are installing a software that is the Turbo C software. I hope mostly today or tomorrow I'll be installing this software, Turbo C software. Clear? But okay, like in Turbo C, just what we find, we are finding what? Editor. It is for what? Simple. It is I hope the screen is shared, everyone. Okay, yeah. So let's just we are talking about what phases of a program. We are having the same thing where we are having the same thing even in what? Java. Clear? For example, like we are using HTML. HTML is also what? A language. Using HTML, just what we are doing, we are designing what? A web page. We are using what? Notepad. Notepad is what? An editor. For example, I am using what? Notepad. Yes. What is Notepad? Notepad is an editor. In C language, to design our programs, we are using what? We are using an editor. It is called the Turbo C editor. I'll share these notes. Okay. I'll share these notes in mail ID. No problem. So to design a C program, just we are using which editor? Turbo C editor. It is called what? It is called a turbo editor. What is the requirement of editor? For example, if we want to design a rocket, can we design the rocket in a house, in my house? No, because rocket is occupying what so much space, yes or no? Rocket is like nearly around 10 kilometers, 10 or 15 kilometers. So is my house having that much space? No. If you want to design a rocket, just we are using what? We are using something like what a space shuttle. Yes or no? Are you getting it? Otherwise, just we are using what? We are using ISRO. Okay, ISRO is designing what rockets. ISRO is having the required space for what? ISRO is having the required space to design what rockets. Clear? So we require what? We require some environment for designing what rockets. Clear? It is also referred as what the space shuttle. Clear? ISRO in okay, like Indian Space Research Organization. Clear? Similar way, if we want to design what our programs, we are using what editors. Even in Java, just what we find editors. To make it simple, we can use what Notepad. So if we want to design a rocket, just we are using what some space, like it is referred as ISRO. Only in ISRO, just what we are able to do, we are able to design the rockets. Similar way, if we want to design our programs, we are using what editors. In C language, it is referred as what the Turbo C editor. In tomorrow's session or today's session, just we can use what a Turbo C editor. Clear? Turbo C editor. Okay. Yeah. So we are talking about what design phase. For example, if we want to purchase a bike or if we want to purchase a vehicle, first the vehicle should be what designed. Yes or no? Are you getting it or not? Suppose if the vehicle is not designed or if the vehicle is not manufactured, can we purchase it? No, not possible. Clear? Okay. Suppose if we don't have a vehicle, can we run it? No, not we can't do that. So important thing is what? The important thing is design phase. Suppose I am telling what I want to use PhonePe. First, the PhonePe application should be designed. Clear or not? Otherwise, I am telling what Google Pay. First, the Google Pay application should be what designed. Clear? So, very important phase is what design phase. What is a design phase? Design phase means we are designing the programs. Otherwise, we are developing the programs. I hope that's clear. In other terms, just we can say that we are developing what? We are developing the programs. So who is doing this job? Simple. It is done by whom? Developer. Okay, he is also called as what? He is also called as the programmer. Suppose you are working with HTML, you are also a developer, web developer. You are called what? A web developer. But here, just you are called as what? A core developer. We have some different types of developers. For example, we are working on HTML, you are called a web developer. For example, here just you can find C program, then you are called what? A core developer. Okay, let us discuss about the types later. Okay, yeah. Next, we'll jump into what? A compilation phase. What do you mean by compilation phase? Compilation phase means we are checking what? We are checking the defects in the program. Where we are checking what? We are checking some defects where in the program. What do you mean by defects? Defects means just we are checking what? We are checking the problems. Clear? What is the requirement of checking the defects? It is something like, suppose ISRO, just let's talk about what ISRO. Suppose I am telling what ISRO has spent 3 years of time for what? ISRO has spent 3 years of time for what? To design the rocket. Immediately, can they run the rocket? No. What they have to do, they have to check what the defects is, the rocket is having any defects or not. Are you getting it? Clear or not? For example, we have Kalpana Chawla. Kalpana Chawla expired. Why? Because we are having what a defect where in the rocket. The rocket was failed, right? When it is going to the space, everything was successful. But when Kalpana Chawla is returning back, what happened is the rocket has failed. Why? Because just we are having what a defect actually. Clear? So defects are causing what a very big loss, or it is causing what a very big problem. So I am telling what ISRO has spent 3 years of time for what to design the rockets. But whenever we are launching a rocket, what is happening? Some of the rockets are what getting failed after running for 10 or after running for around 100 kilometers. They are falling down. It means what? The launch has failed. Why the launch has failed? Because the rocket is having what some defects. So before we are launching the rocket, we had to check what? We had to check for all the defects. What do you mean by launching? Launching means before we are running the rocket, I mean to say, we had to check what? We had to check all the defects, or we had to check what? All the problems. Clear? Because you have spent a lot. Suppose ISRO may be spending crores and crores of money for what? ISRO may be spending some crores and crores of money for what? For designing the rocket. They might have spent around, government have funded around 100 crores. But what is ISRO people doing? They are launching the rocket. But the launch, but the launch was unsuccessful. Otherwise, it was a failure. So 100 crores is a loss, big loss. The time is a loss, and even the result is what? Loss. Yes or no? Similar way, when we talk about a program, sometimes a program can have what? Defects, or it may have a problem. What are these defects called as? Here the defects are called as what? Here the defects are called as something like errors. What they are called? They are called as errors, or they are also called as what? Bugs. Okay? Like I am telling what a rocket can have a defect. Suppose the rocket may not be designed properly. Suppose if the rocket is not designed properly, can we launch it? No. Everything should be what? 100%. The design should be 100% in such a way that we don't have what any defects. So whenever we are talking what about a program in C language or Java, we have to check for what? Defects. These are termed as what? These are termed as errors or bugs. I hope that's clear. Okay. So let us see one simple defect. I am telling what? I am telling that I have designed what is C program. Okay, that is well and good. But here, just the design, how the design should be. First, we had to write hash include stdio.h. That is line number 1. Similar way, line number 2 is we had to take what? Void main. Already I told that void main is what? Anyone? I told that void main is a procedure. For what purpose? I can use void main for running the program. For example, if we want to run a vehicle, we are using what? Engine. We are using engine for what? We are using engine for running the vehicle. Similar way, to run our C program, we are using a procedure. That procedure is what? Something like what? Void main. I hope that's clear. Just write down this program, everyone. Take this program. I'll give you time. Just write down. Okay, completed. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. So okay, let us just I'll explain this program. To build a program where in C language, just we are following what some steps. We are writing this line number one. We'll talk about line number one shortly. We are writing what line number two. In line number two, just we are finding what a procedure. It is what main. Purpose of main, anyone? Again, I'm telling you, it is for what? It is for running what your programs, your C programs. Okay. But important thing is, like here, just we are using some, these are called braces, floor braces. These are called as what? These are called as floor brace. This one. This one is a floor brace. This is also what a floor brace. This one. Okay, some terminology. These are what braces, floor braces. When coming to the first one, this is something like a opening flower brace. This one. Similar way, just below, this is what this is something like a closing flower brace. The first one is what opening flower brace, and number two is what a closing flower brace. Just write down flower brace. Even in Java, just we find flower braces. Even in Java also, just we are finding what flower braces. Just write down. Yeah, completed. Okay, just we have opening floor brace and a closing floor brace. So what is the purpose of opening floor brace? Okay, it means that here just we are taking what void main. So whenever we are taking this void main, a void main should have a beginning. Every time what we have to do is, every time we have to start our main procedure. Okay. So if you want to begin our procedure, which procedure? Main procedure. So whenever just we are talking about main, I told that main is what? A main is something like a procedure. Sometimes it is also called as what? A function. It is also called as what? A function. A procedure is also called as what? A function in C language. Even in Java, just we can find functions. Procedure is also called as what? Procedure is also called as a function. Terminology used. Yeah. So in the case of main function or main procedure, what we want? We want first one a beginning. First, what we have to we had to begin what our main procedure. That is important. Similar way, just what we had to close or we had to end what our main procedure. I hope that's clear. Okay, so it's something like we have to start. Suppose you want to fill a bucket of water. First, you are starting the tap. Otherwise, just we are opening the tap, right? After filling the bucket, what we are doing, we are closing the tap. Suppose if you are not closing the tap, bucket is full, but you are telling what I don't want to close the tap. What is happening? Like water, you are wasting what water, right? Like you are opening the tap. Similar way, we had to open what our procedure. Which procedure? Main procedure. After opening, important thing is what we had to close the procedure. Like you are closing the tab, just you have to close what you have to close your procedure. Currently, we are talking about which procedure? Currently, we are talking about main procedure. Is that clear? Currently, we are talking about what? Simple. Currently, we are talking about main procedure. So, if we want to start what our main procedure, just we are using what? We are using something like the opening floor base. I hope that's clear. This one. This one refers to what? This one refers that we are opening what our main procedure. This one. Yeah, I hope we are using a flower brace. Yes. I told that this is what an opening of flower brace. Why we are using opening flower brace? I told that void main is what a procedure. But important thing is, like I told that main should have what a beginning. Proportionately, we are using what? Proportionately, just we are using a opening flower brace. Okay. This one. This represent what? This represents that you are starting which procedure? Main procedure. Clear? Okay. And similar way, just we had to close the procedure, main procedure. Just what we are doing is simple. We are using something like what? The closing floor base. This one. I hope that's clear. This one. What is this one? This one is the closing floor base. So you may ask me a question, why we are taking these braces? Why we are taking this brace? And why we are taking this brace? This brace is talking about what? This brace is talking about the beginning of which procedure? Main procedure. Clear? Similar way, this floor brace is talking about what? Simple. This floor brace is talking about the ending of which procedure? Main procedure. Clear? Okay, yeah. So suppose like you are removing this closing floor brace. You are telling what? You are telling that you are designing a C program, but what you forgot? You forgot which floor brace? You forgot a closing floor brace. What is going to happen is, okay, it will report what? A program is having what? A defect. Able to follow? Are you getting it? It will result in what? It is giving what? A defect. I hope that's clear. So you are telling what? You are telling that like I forgot which brace? The closing floor brace. So what does it mean? It means that your program is having what? A defect. Sometimes it is also called as what? It is also called as what? Error. Is that clear? Hello? Okay. Your program is having what? Error. So if we want to check all these errors, we are using a specific phase. It is called as a compilation phase. What is the purpose of compilation phase? We are checking what? We are checking what? We are checking the program is designed properly or not. What that? The program is what? The program is designed properly or not. What do you mean by designed properly or not? It means that, for example, just suppose if you want to, suppose if you want to, suppose you are running your vehicle weight on the road, we are following which rules? We know that just we are following traffic rules, yes or no? Similar way in program, for a similar way in program, that's what we are finding is we are finding some rules. These are called as what? Syntax rules. What rules? Syntax rules. Are you getting it? For example, here just we are finding a syntax rule. Like whenever you are beginning a procedure, definitely what we have to do? Definitely we have to end the procedure. Otherwise, definitely we have to close the procedure. You have any questions, anyone? I am giving an example for a syntax rule. Example for a syntax rule. Like if we are beginning a procedure, what we have to do, what will we have to follow? We should end the procedure. This is what this is one of the rules we have to follow. These are called as what? Syntax rules. Clear? Suppose you are running your vehicle, which rules we are following? Traffic rules. Similar way, while designing our programs, while designing what? While designing the programs, okay, just we have to follow what rules? We have to follow some rules. These are called as what? Syntax rules. I'll give a simple example for a syntax rule. For example, if we are beginning a procedure, what we have to do? We should end the procedure. Example, here just we can observe that we are beginning a procedure. But we forgot about what? But we forgot about closing the procedure. It means what? It means that we are not following which rule? Syntax rule. So what is going to happen if we are not following the syntax rules? Like we are getting what? Errors. Sometimes these are also called as what? Bugs. Okay. You have any questions? Anyone? Hello? Okay, you have any questions, anyone? Okay, yeah. So important thing is about what? Compilation phase. In HTML, we don't have a compilation phase in HTML. Why? Because directly we are running what? Our programs. Okay. But when coming to C language or when coming to Java language, just we are having a compilation phase. Again, I'm telling you, design phase. Design phase means we are designing our programs. Okay. Design phase means what? Design phase means we are designing our programs. Okay. I want to verify the design is good or not. So we are using what phase? Anyone? We are using one more phase. It is called compilation phase. Very important phase. In HTML, we have compilation phase? No, in HTML. Okay. But in C language or Java language, definitely we are having what phase? Definitely we are having compilation phase. Very important. It is for what? It is for checking the defects. In program, they are called as what? Errors. Okay. So when we are getting these defects, if you are not following what rules, if you are not following the syntax rules, we are getting what? Defects. Clear? So in a program, otherwise, while designing a program, what is that? While designing a program, it may be C language or Java language, any language. Tomorrow, after 1 or 2 days, we are talking about which language? Java language. After 1 or 2 days. Suppose you are designing a program where in a C language or Java language, anything. Just we should follow what rules? We should follow something like syntax rules. To make it simple, let us talk about one syntax rule. Suppose you are working with which procedure? Main procedure. What I told? I told that we require what? A beginning and we require what? Ending. Proportionately, for beginning we are using what? Opening clause. For ending we are using what? The closing clause. But what I have done is I forgot the closing clause. It means that we are not following which rule? It means that we are not following the syntax rule. I hope that's clear. It means that we are not following which rule? It means that we are not following which rule? Syntax rule. So what is happening? Okay, what is happening is simple. We are getting what? We are getting errors. I hope that's clear. Okay. So, like what I told is, in case a rocket, just I told that ISRO rocket, all that, right? Suppose if the rocket is having a defect, okay, so like can the launch be successful? No. Suppose I am designing a rocket for 3 years, but I am not checking what all the defects. What is going to happen? The launch becomes unsuccessful. I am not checking all the defects, but directly I am running it. What will happen? Like the launch, we can tell what the launch is failed, something like this, right? We are not able to launch the satellite where in the orbit. Yes or no? Right? Because the rocket may be having what some defects, something like this. Similar way, like what is execution phase? Execution phase means here just what we are doing here, we are running what we are running our programs. Execution phase means it means that we are running what our programs. Why we have to run the program? Just now I told about what? Just now I told about phone pay or Google Pay, right? If we want to use a phone pay or Google Pay, what we have to do? We have to run those applications. I hope already I told you, right? To use any program, what we had to? We had to run it. Suppose I want to use a vehicle, what we are doing? We are running it. Yes or no? Suppose if you want to use a vehicle, what we have to? We have to run it. Similar way, if we want to use any program, what we have to do? We had to run it. Here we are using what phase? Okay, here we are using something like what? Execution phase. Execution phase means what? Execution phase means we are running what? We are running our programs. Let us talk one more time. Phases of a program. Coming to first one, design phase. Just write down design phase. Design phase means we are designing the program. Okay, design phase. Otherwise, I'll share the notes. That's up to you. Okay, I'll share the notes. Design phase means we are designing the program. It is done by whom? Developer. Okay. In the case of C, we are using what? Procedures, something like this, right? Design phase. And how about number two, compilation phase? We are checking for what? We are checking for the defects in program. These are called as what? Errors or bugs, something. What is the importance? Like what is the importance of what phase? Compilation phase. As already I told you, just we are checking for what? Defects. But when we are getting defects, if you are not following what rules, if you are not following syntax rules, clear? Like for example, we are following traffic rules. Similar way, we are following what rules? We have to follow syntax rules. A quick example of a syntax rule, like here, just we are taking what procedure, which procedure? Main procedure. What I told that main procedure is having what? A beginning. Like you have a beginning. Similar way, we require what? Ending. But you have skipped the ending part. It means you are skipping what? You are skipping the closing progress. Immediately, what the program is having, immediately we can say that the program is having what? Errors. Error. So errors are reported in which phase? Compilation phase. Clear? Okay. Here just what we are doing, here just we are using, here we are using compiler. What is that? Here we are using something like what? Compiler. Previously we talked about editor. To design the program we are using what editor? Already I told you. Similar way, to compile the program, just we are using what? Compiler. In C it is called what? In C it is called as what? It is called as the Turbo C compiler. Just write down. Like we have Turbo C editor. Similar way, just we are having what? Turbo C compiler. Just write down. Okay. Turbo C compiler. C language. In Java, which compiler we are having? Java compiler. That's all. Java compiler. Like we have a Turbo C compiler in Java. Just we are having what compiler? Java compiler. Here also, just we have which phase? Compilation phase. Clear? So what is the compiler doing? Compiler is checking for what errors? Where in the program? Tomorrow I hope just we will work on what? Turbo C compiler, etc. Clear? Not today, tomorrow. Okay? Yeah. So in case we don't have any errors, then we can jump into what phase? Execution phase. What is that? Execution phase. Okay. So for example, you want to drive a car. First we are checking what? Like we are checking, we are starting the, like first we are checking the brake is working properly or not. Suppose you are not checking for a brake, you may be in first gear. So you just for one time at least you are checking what a brake. Suppose you are not checking the brake, but you are in fourth gear. You are in fourth gear or fifth gear. Nowadays we have fifth gear like vehicles, right? So you are not checking for what brake. You are in fifth gear, but you are telling what brake is not working. What will happen? It may lead to what? Damage of what? A vehicle. Suppose a brake is not working, what may happen? You are not able to stop the car, right? It means that we are having what? A defect where in the vehicle. Defect or problem where in the vehicle, right? So okay, if you are not checking the defects, what may happen? We may not be able to run what our programs. Clear? So what is execution phase? Execution phase means we are running what? Our programs. Very important. Okay, whereby just what we are doing, we are getting what? Simple, we are getting the required output. We are getting what? We are getting what? The required output. I hope that's clear. Required output means the program is performing what? The program is performing the required functionality. The program is performing what? The required functionality. What do you mean by required functionality? For example, I am talking about ATM, whereby just we are finding what? ATM program. Before we are storing this program where in the ATM machine, we are checking for what? We are checking for all the defects. Are you able to follow? When coming to customer point of view, just we are in which phase? Execution phase. Able to follow? Okay, so when you are going to ATM, are you compiling your program? No. Customer does not know about compilation phase. Customer is directly getting into what phase? Execution phase. Able to follow? So whenever you are getting into ATM, you know that you are swiping your card. So what is your program doing? Your program is getting what details immediately. Your program is getting the customer details. Suppose you are inserting your card or you may be swiping your card. Immediately, what is your ATM doing? ATM is getting what details? Customer details. But okay, there you are in which phase? Execution phase. Able to follow? Or suppose I am talking about online banking. You are telling what? You are using what? Online banking. It means that you are using what programs? Yes or no? So we are in which phase? We are in execution phase. I hope that's clear. We are in which phase? Execution phase. Suppose if we are skipping the compilation phase, can we directly get into execution phase? No. The problem may be, suppose you want to make transfer of funds. That would be like a transfer of funds. Nowadays, ATMs are providing what? Nowadays, ATMs are providing like transfer of funds from one account to what another account. Yes or no? But whenever you are transferring the funds, suppose you want to transfer amount of like 1000 something. But what is happening is like you are having a problem. The problem is something like we are having source account here. We are having what source account and just we are having what we are having something like what a destination account. Clear? So from source account, what is happening? Amount of 1000 is amount of what? Amount of 1000 is getting debited. Debited means 1000 is removed from where source account. But what is happening is okay, like amount of 1000. What is that? The amount of 1000 is not getting credited. Just you see. I am telling what it is not getting credited. Where in which account? In the destination account. Just you see. So why amount of 1000 is not getting credited?